Cause you feel tobacco not like weed. They want to know why you drinking and stumbling about. Dirty words coming from your mouth while your wife and children home in need.
Keep it locked. We'll be right back for truth.
That the future lying behind, and we got to save this island. No matter how dismal things may seem, we got to know that the youth them in hard to reach, but we must practice what we preach if we want them to follow a dream. We got to know, we got to know, we got to know. Listen, friend, I said to listen. We got to know, we got to know, we got to know. Listen, I said to listen.
That's the lyrics of the man called Bumba. Anyone remember those tunes from back in the days, man? You know, it's such a telling song to kind of like he was way in advance to teach the youths of what they need to know way in advance, man. I don't even remember which year that was, but what a powerful song. You know, I remember the song. Don't remember exactly where I was and how old I was, but I remember those lyrics, and it's such a compelling song to all of us out there. Nadia is going to try to hook Mr. Ronaldo up, Mr. Renaldo Holder. He's still having some technical difficulties on his side, so we are just kind of laying low, waiting for him to come on, and then we're going to introduce him and talk to him. He has a very wide story to tell, and a very interesting guy. The very first time I met him, I realized he was a guy that we can probably have a good story and relate with, especially on a show like this. This is a show that for everyone actually to um, listen to, and hopefully inspires some of you out there. Well, I just want to welcome you to the show tonight. I'm really happy and excited to have you on the show, and give thanks, man. So good night and welcome.
Well, very much appreciated. I'm excited as well. I'm excited.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so first and foremost, let's do this. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you started, please.
Where I started?
Yeah, tell us where you started from the beginning, man. Just go straight from the top.
Okay, so I am originally from Barbados, born and raised from Bayland, St. Michael.
Before you go
Um,
any further, I realize that there's a lot of guys from that area who's into that industry.
well, it is close to the racetrack, pretty much.
Okay.
It is what we would know to say a stone throw away.
Yes, sir.
You know, um, it's an industry that my dad has been in,
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
and sadly to say, I did not directly get into it with my dad because when I got into horse racing, my dad was not in Canada. My dad was already in Canada.
Oh, I see. Who is your father?
A guy by the name of Nicholas Stephon.
Nicholas Devon?
Yeah, the
Okay.
fun.
Okay, the fun.
So
Okay, go ahead, brother. Tell us a little bit more.
it kind of happened by, pardon me?
Tell us a little bit more. Go ahead.
It kind of happened by chance. I was going to the track one morning jogging, actually with my godfather. I was about probably 9 years old, if I'm not mistaken, and we were jogging, and I just stopped and watching the horses train, and I'm like, I like this, you know. So I got around the track, and luckily for me, everyone around the track knew my dad. So that was a breaking point for me right off the bat. It was like,
Wait,
hey, here's
can I get
here's little
any?
Nicholas. Here's little Nicholas. What do you want
Yeah.
to do? What do you want to do? So I had I had guidelines all along from start.
Very good.
Um, I was
When everybody
connected with
knows your
him.
father, then you can't give trouble in public because the news will
Yeah,
get home before you get home.
you know that before you do anything, daddy does get a phone call, or someone, your parents or family members get a phone call and say, hey, I expect that when you come home, you gotta get straightened up. But
Now
I
I noticed that
was
I noticed that you are also a writer. You're not only a trainer, but you're also a writer. Tell us a little bit more about that.
well, that's where it started actually. I started on the ground. I love writing. Writing is my passion. I can do it in my sleep. So I've been actually writing from I was 9 years old. I started with a guy named Victor Cheeseman. I used to help him out in the paddock, help him out with his ponies on the race day, like the actual miniature ponies.
Right?
Take kids for the rides in the garrison, in the little park area and what's not. And through Victor, I got connected with a guy in Barbados right now who is actually a singer, turned into a singer by the name of Kurt Brown.
Oh, okay. Go
Back
ahead.
then, yeah, right. Back then he was living in St. Lawrence Gap, and it was a little farm there, and I branched off with him from there, and then I went to a guy that my dad actually used to work for called Peter Manning,
Right.
and it was just always forward motion from there. I got into the riding. I got my license in Barbados. I was licensed as an exercise rider at 14. Came to Canada shortly after, and I just continued. I mean, the first year I came out here, I didn't ride. My dad didn't want me riding. My dad, he's like, nope, you're not gonna ride up here. Find something else to do. And it's like anything in life that you have a passion for. Once you're not doing it, you get the itch to do it again, no matter what anybody says. So I think that was the first um disobedience. that that was my first major disobedience to my dad because he didn't want me riding, and I got the itch. I couldn't take it anymore. He was in Florida for the winter. The track opens back in February. So everybody's all masked out, full of clothes. You can't tell who's who. And here I am. I'm out there. I'm out there riding horses, and I'm riding a lot of horses. Like right off the bat, I started at Woodbine, and I got in pretty good. I
So
I
tell me
won't say that
something.
that was.
So
Pardon
tell me
me.
something, Ronaldo. You said you love riding horses, and I know there had to be a point where you realize, well, you love riding the horses, but you can't actually be a jockey in a race because you're too big.
I knew that from I was about. Uh, realistically, I knew that from I was about 14.
Okay.
But
You can tell from
being
early,
willing to
right?
accept. Pardon me.
You can tell from early, right?
Yeah, well, I was going to be a big guy. My dad, that's kind of the reason he didn't want me to ride because
Right.
I guess he didn't want me to pressure myself towards being a jock.
Mhm.
But
Right.
I, I didn't care. Well, let me not say that because I'll be kind of lying to you. It wasn't a first choice for me to be a jockey.
Okay. Okay.
Being on a horse is my freedom. That's my
Mm.
happy place. No matter what, I can be broken in all the pain in the world, and you put me on a horse, you'll see the smile that will light up the world. That's
So
me.
what is it about on a horse that you like? You like actually like riding, like going fast, or you just like riding.
Just be sitting on a horse or walking, and I'm happy.
But you know
You know?
what? Last year, I actually last year we actually went on horseback riding. For me, it was the first time in a very long time since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And for Nadia, it was her first time, and it was
Well,
awesome.
I did do the little pony ride thingies, at Brighton Beach. Brighton, what was it, like down behind Brandon's? I did that a couple times when I was small, but it could as well have been the very first time.
Well, be careful now, Nadia. Riding behind Brandon's could send a very bad message.
Oh.
I have done that. I've been down there as a kid with John Mark and those guys down on the beach. So it's been a wide network of people that I've been with in the horse business. And I mean, it started in Barbados. I came to Canada. I started it. December 2008. I actually went to Florida for the very first time ever.
And what was that like?
Actually, I did not go to ride.
What was it like down in Florida? Because I know they're very competitive down there.
Again, once I'm on a horse, everything else is blacked out. It was, just being in an area where I'm constantly at work. I was working 2 different tracks. I was at my happy place. It was, the environment is nice, but I didn't go down there to ride at that point because I had got injured. I had broken my ribs earlier that year, and I decided, you know what, I'm done with this.
And that's one of the bad things about riding too, right? You get those injuries, eh?
Consistently. The hurtful thing about that is I had actually just broke my ribs, the same rack of ribs on the left side, a year apart.
Wait, I'm sorry. We're talking about ribs and not wrists. We're talking about your chest and not your. Oh my goodness.
My hand, no, my ribs, right?
Oh wow.
It's something you'll never forget because the first time I did it, it was 8 days before my birthday. The next time I did it, it was 6 days before my birthday.
Wow.
Very next year.
I was going to ask you a question, Renaldo. I was going to ask you how you managed to find your happy place on top of a horse. And my reference to that was, this lovely horse ride that we had last year. Once I finally settled in and got into it, I could enjoy the serenity, but Dima will tell you, I was not looking over my shoulders. I was very focused on looking forward. I was not about to slide off of this thing. How you break all these ribs and this is still your happy place?
Well, I would say breaking my ribs was probably the least of my injuries, and that's honest.
Wow.
I've right down on a horse with a horse, going at a pretty good clip where I sliced the bottom of my throat open. I chipped the bone in my wrist. I had my hip out the socket.
Wow. Wow. You guys are some very tough people. That's all I can say, man. You guys are some very tough people.
In anything that you do that you have a passion for, you kind of overlook all the little nicks and knacks. I say little nicks and knacks because anytime I get up and walk away, it's a good day for me. I really don't worry about it.
Wow.
And that's me being
100%. Love, right? That's when you love what you do.
Well, I gotta tell you, to be honest, I can understand because I have a cousin who lives in Barbados right now, and just last year he'd been around horses for the time he was less than 10 years old, and he got kicked in the face last year. And got his face completely messed up, and he's still working again with these horses.
Back to the horses.
It's addictive. It's like you see people doing Formula One, and you're like, these people must be crazy. I would never do that, but that's their passion. That's what they love, So all the things that come with it is just a complete package to them. It's all part. It's just another day of living, not even work. Because when you're doing something like that, it's not work. That's your hobby. That's your happy place. You can do that every day, no matter what.
Nice, very nice. It must be very rewarding when you can actually work in the industry or in a job that you really love and you're passionate about. I gotta ask you another thing, and this is, where did you get your first break
as a trainer? When did you decide to be a trainer?
I'm gonna answer your last question first before the first one. I
Okay.
decided to be a trainer. Um, I really want to say about 2005, 2006. I was working with a guy by the name of Bill Torrenos here, and we had a fabulous season. Like we had an amazing season, and then we had a trainer from Barbados came up by the name of Robert Pierce, and I started to work with him,
I
and
think I
we
remember
had
that guy. I remember that
yeah,
guy.
he came up,
Go ahead.
and we literally we literally did no wrong as a team together. I'm not saying that everything we ran win, but everything that we put out there performed, right? And he said, and he did not say this to me. He said this to someone, and it came back to me. And the guy says to me, the boss wonders what you're really doing. Why are you here under him rather than going off on your own? And it dawned on me, I'm like, it is a tough, tough industry. Very tough industry. Okay. It's called the Sport of Kings, and it has that name for a reason.
Right.
Here, horse racing, everybody here is money.
Right.
Right? You're like, oh, you work with horses. You must make lots of money. It's the opposite way around. When you work with horses, you spend lots of money.
But there's a passion, right?
That's a big child right there. You spend money nonstop, no matter what. Right? So it was a challenge. But after Robert left in 2012, I had told him, you know what, if he's not coming back to Canada, neither am I. Bear in mind, I live in Canada, but I wanted a change, and I figured that if I needed a change, I have to change everything, scenery, and just start all over, right? So my breakthrough came in Nebraska.
Nice. Tell us more about that. Tell us more about that. Go
Because
ahead.
it's not just next door, right? Like you didn't just hop on a bus on a train and end up in Nebraska. So we would love to hear about this journey.
Okay, so the journey to Nebraska was I left here in the end of that season, and I went to, which would have been 2012. I left here in November 2012, and I went back to Ocala, Florida, because I
Okay.
was working a 2-year-old and training where we prep horses to be sold at 2 years old.
And that was that in the fall or winter?
Yeah, that was like late fall going into the winter.
Okay.
And that job I was also introduced to by another fellow Bajan by the name of Slade Callahan, a jockey from Barbados. He's here also.
Right.
So I did that job, and I had that job, I think it was like 2 years back to back or 3 years back to back. And whatever reason is, it didn't work out. So I lost that job, and the next day, Slade came to me, goes, "Hey, I heard you lost your job. Come see me at the track I'm at." So I go, "No problem." Went over, saw him. He introduced me to this guy from Nebraska, older guy by the name of Stanley Mankin, and he asked me if I could ride a horse for him. I didn't think it was a big deal. To him, it was a big deal. To me, it was just me riding a horse. He's like, "Okay, this is one of my prize horses, but he's very, very tough, and he's giving everybody trouble. He's either dropped them or ran off with them. I need somebody to
Wow.
hold him."
So
Okay,
that
I
must have
got
been
on
a
the
really
horse.
big deal for you, man, to hear the
Pardon
words
me?
like that. This horse is a big, strong horse. Nobody can ride it, but this guy wants you.
You know what? It's always a pleasure to feel needed or wanted, but it's something that comes naturally to me. I don't know why. People always seem to throw bad or tough horses my way. I get along, and I always tell them, you put crazy with crazy, you get a good mix. I always say that is no, I'm not actually crazy, but I'm very open minded when I'm riding horses. Like my mind is so free. Anything can happen at any time, and I'm just right there with it. Right?
So
'Cause,
you feel like
like,
if you have like a way of, I don't know, communicating with the horses that
most
they
definitely,
tend to listen to you?
most definitely, I'm gonna say that proudly. Most definitely.
So you have very good hands with the horses.
I've been told.
Very nice, very nice. That goes a long way because if you can make the horse relax, then I'm pretty sure that horse is in good hands.
Yeah, that's there's a little saying goes, a happy horse will always run for you.
Mhm.
And I've always believed that my job as a rider is to not only maintain my horse's fitness, but know what I have and be able to keep the horse happy so that when I this is me now talking as an employee of somebody else. When I get off a horse and the boss goes to me, how is he? I want to be able to give you details. He's happy,
Right.
boss, but or he's just happy. And that could be the honest and leave it at that. I'm not one that will come off the horse and goes, he's okay.
Right.
Because
Now I
that's
wanna,
what
sorry,
go ahead.
I want you to touch a little bit more on Nebraska and how that journey went, and if you grew from being in Nebraska, and what did you learn down there?
I elevated in Nebraska. And I'll tell you why. When I tell people I've been to Nebraska, the first thing they ask me is, "Are you crazy? Nebraska? Like, where is Nebraska? Why Nebraska?" Again, as I said, horses is my happy place. And after riding for the guy in Florida, I got along great with his 4 horses. And he says to me, "Hey, I'm gonna pay you more than you're making in Florida if you come to Nebraska with me." I kid you not, right? I went home, did my laundry, packed my bags, and I said to my dad, "I'm going to Nebraska." He goes, "What?" you know, he just looked at me like, "You're going where? Who's in Nebraska? What's in Nebraska?" I go, "I got a job, I got a place, I got a vehicle. I'm leaving in a couple of days." My dad says to me, "You know what? Go. If you need anything, if you're not comfortable, call me. We get you out of there." And I
Right.
left. I didn't know where Nebraska was on the map. Up to this day, I don't know where Nebraska is on the map. But I
How
know
old were you, Ronaldo, when this was happening?
this is 2012, so I'm 32 now. So,
So
uh,
sorry, you were holding?
I'm, I'm trying to calculate
Oh.
It's not
um,
really necessary on that.
Oh, no, no. Why I'm asking is because your voice is still very young.
oh,
And I think
I
it's
know very young.
important
Thank
for
you.
young people to understand that sometimes opportunities come and it is scary and it requires us to let go what is comfortable and jump into something that is new and different and uncomfortable. And also for parents to hear, sometimes all our young people need is to know, you know what, go, you have my support, but this is your home base. If you ever run into trouble, you know how to get home. So I just wanted your age so that, some young people and some parents could see what is possible at any age.
I was about 22, 23.
Sorry?
Yeah, I was about 25.
About 25.
Okay,
Okay.
no,
Yeah.
that's brilliant, man. Because there's a lot of us who stay on the comfort level, and when there's an opportunity, we sometimes a little bit hesitant, and we have to take that leap when that opportunity comes because it will probably never come again. Is that true?
Yeah. That, you know what? That is so true. And just touching back a little bit before I continue in Nebraska on opportunities, my first big opportunity I would say that I ever turned down was my first year in Florida, which would be 2009. 2009, I was 19, just about to have my first kid. And a guy saw me riding down there, and he comes up to me, he goes, "Hey, kid, where you going when you done here?" I says, "Back to Woodbine." He goes, "How about let's go to California? I'll pay you $1,500 a week. You be my riding assistant." And I'm looking at him like, 1,500 a week. To ride, to ride and be your assistant, like this is a dream. Because I
It's too
always
good
want
to
to go
be
to
true,
California.
huh?
I've never been, but I had to turn it down
Why?
Maybe.
because I'm just about to have my first kid, and my kid is in Canada.
But you know now Nadia says, baby, baby.
Like
But,
right
but
away.
I gotta tell you, man. I'll tell you something. What I've noticed in my short lifetime is that these opportunities don't always come around, and the ones who leap at them and take advantage of these opportunities, it works out pretty good in the future.
You know what? Though? I never regretted it. I didn't regret it
Okay, well that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
because if I regretted it, it'll be cutting out what we're about to talk about now.
Okay.
Where I got my break.
All
Because
right.
here is my break, not a break that was given to me. Okay? In terms
Okay.
of I was not being an assistant for someone and then they're like, okay, go off on your own.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
How I started was I just did my test, bought a horse, went off on my own.
Mm.
I ran that
Now,
horse
that,
once in Nebraska, was unsuccessful, and I shut the organization down. I didn't quit. I just took a step back. I'm like, you know what? I got my license. I got that one start where that my name is out there. Take a step back now, make some money, and learn from the people around me. And this is where Nebraska became a place that I love. I've been there for 4 years, where there's a community of 2.5% of black people. Okay. And about 1.5% of that black people, those black people are more or less Somalians.
Oh.
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So here I am at this little track. And when it's a little track, it's like Barbados. It's a small track in Nebraska with no friends, no family. I've never been to Nebraska. I don't know squat about Nebraska. I walk into the track. There's only two black people, myself and a guy from South Carolina. Okay.
Wow.
Most people would have a fear or be concerned, miss home. I didn't. I got there
Good.
and I kid you not, within a day, I was at home. I had
Nice.
people welcoming me.
Very nice.
We
Very
were
nice.
like I had no problem. I fit right in. I was making money. I was doing what I needed, and I had trainers coming up to me, sitting down, talking to me as a young trainer coming up. Like here, I just got to Nebraska. I just did my trainer's license, and I have trainers explaining the ropes to me. And I was shocked because I'm like, is this real? I'm not knocking Canada. I'm just being realistic. It's hard for you to see that here because
But
everybody's so worried about competition.
but
You
is it
understand?
more Canada, or is it more that Woodbine racetrack is a big market, and where you were was just a little bit smaller, or is it just the two different places?
You know what? I'm gonna say there's two different places and two different atmospheres in terms of
Okay.
people. This I've been at Woodbine for a very long time, and I have some very nice friends at Woodbine. People that I would go die hard for. But for the short time that I have been to Nebraska, I have developed a bond with the trainers down there a lot more stronger than most of the people here at Woodbine.
And why is that? Tell us more about that.
Because um they don't only worry about business to me. It's not okay. I have horses running, I want to win. It's all about me. It's like they have horses running, I have horses running, and the only way to run races is if all the horses are ready to run. So these people have a real strong sense of unity. Okay. I had my own barn of 10 horses. I ride horses for at least 3 to 5 different trainers. I'm riding 30 horses a day.
Wow.
Okay. I do all my work myself. And it's like this. I'm riding for one guy. When I get off of one of his horses, if I have to get on one of mine, from the time I get back to the barn, he goes, go. One of his guys have my horse waiting for me. Like they'll just bring it out, have it standing there. I get on, and he'll take away take off the tack or whatever. When I get back with mine, somebody just takes mine, ask me what I want to do with it. Okay, give it a bath, and they go with the horse like if it's part of their job.
Mm.
You
And
know,
that's beautiful to hear, man.
it just works and works and works. And once all the work is done, we then have fun. Like it was a, it is something I would want anybody to experience. Not
Do
So,
only
you
just
think,
the work.
sorry,
go ahead, Nadia.
do you think that camaraderie is something that you could create somewhere else, that you could get some, some other interested people, like you said, people who don't necessarily look like you, come from the same background, but have the same mentality, and create that atmosphere somewhere else?
I have, I
Nice.
have, I
Yeah.
have, I have, because in the whole aspect and the whole time that I did the traveling to Nebraska, I've been to Minnesota for 4 years also. Um, Phoenix, Arizona, Chicago. I learned a lot of unity.
Mm.
And here is everywhere I go, there's different cultures, but they're all doing the same thing. They're all uniting for one purpose, the love
Very
of the
good.
racing, right? So I came back home in 2017. I've been home since, and I wasn't really like I'm involved in my racing, like I always will be, but I came home and something was missing. I wasn't feeling the unity and the love like I was feeling in the States.
Mhm.
Okay. So
I, I, I gotta ask you about that. So I know there's quite a few Barbadian um, exercise riders, some jockeys, a few trainers. What is it like on track with those guys? And do you have a good relationship with those guys?
yes. Yes, I do. I have a very good relationship with most of them. Um on track it's like it's a lot of business. We all talk to each other stuff, but up here it's just go, 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 go. We see each other just probably by passing each other on a horse, but
I see.
the atmosphere of the guys that here from Barbados, they really try to stick together. They really try to push one another. And okay, for example, I came home. I was training horses home. My first win in Canada, okay, it was in Fort Erie, and it was with a Bajan rider. It's a family member, but it was also a Bajan member, which was Terry Husbands. That was in Fort Erie.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so that was in 2016. A little family horse I bought, cheap horse I bought from Nebraska. He won for me in Nebraska. I brought him home, and he won for me here in Fort Erie.
Very nice. Very
So
nice.
I was pleased with that, to make a mark for myself coming home as a trainer. And but I had already win a handful of races in the States. So the winner circle was not new to me. It was just pleasing to me to do it in Canada,
Very
right?
good.
Mm.
I took a couple years off because again, it is a tough business, and horses are horses. No matter what they're worth, they're horses, and you always have to take care of them. So it it doesn't pay to keep a bunch of low level horses.
Right.
Right. Right.
The bulls
We
run up just as
understand that.
fast as the high level horses. Only thing when the high level horses make money, they make money. When the lower
Mhm.
level horses make money, it's just covering
Just
the
come
bills,
across.
and so you're
Yeah.
not making nothing. So it didn't make sense. So I took a break. I came
Now,
back last year.
have you won your first stakes yet, or have you
No,
actually gotten to a
no.
stakes yet, or what's
I've
that like?
ran in I've ran in stake races. I haven't won yet, but I'm not worried. It's coming. It's
Yeah, it will
coming.
come. It will come. It will
It will
come.
come. And the
And
greatest
let
thing
me
about
tell you,
once you get
when
the
it
first
comes,
one,
I want you to come back on the show, and I want to be able to talk to you about that whole field. And the reason why I'm asking this because there was an article um, on one guy,
Randy Thompson.
Randy, and Randy, he won his first stakes, and I saw from the article how beautiful it was for him.
Oh, it was amazing, man. I felt it for him. That's my boy. He's been my boy from Barbados. right?
Nice.
I even help him, I even ride I even ride horses for him. He has that same horse had a baby sister, 2 year old, and I was riding it for him this year. So again, it's unity. It's unity, you know. I like to see my people doing good. Even if I'm getting beat down, I want to see my people doing good because my turn will come.
Right.
Nice. Exactly.
But
Um,
I'm it's close. It's close. The stakes are coming. I mean, like last season I came back. I won 3 races for 40,000, which is the allowance level. The very first one was also with another Bajan rider, Kevin Nichols.
oh,
He gave me,
Kevin. Okay.
he, yeah, he gave me my first Woodbine winner, and that was also his first Woodbine winner after a 8 year comeback.
For him or for you?
Yeah. He was off for 8 years, and then he came back to riding because he was out west. He came here, got settled,
Okay.
and then he started back riding.
Okay.
So
As you probably
that
can
was
tell
good.
that I still keep a close eye on the thoroughbreds. I live pretty close to Woodbine. I've been living in this area for 20 years now, and I know one or two trainers. I also know a couple owners, and I like to sometimes during the summer I'll go down to the track early in the morning just to get a feeling of how I can write a story about the industry or write a story about the horses. But unfortunately, I can never get inside to really mingle with the guys, right?
Well, after COVID, because due to COVID and stuff, there's a lot of procedures that you have to do, and they're not letting outside people in. If you're not working there, they don't let you in. But once this all cleared up to some point where they're at, like letting certain people in, I'll get you in. That's not a problem.
That'll be a beautiful thing. And since you mentioned that, I gotta ask you, COVID, how has it been this year for you, man, during this pandemic?
L- like most of the rest of the world, it's been a hard blow. I mean, yes, I was working throughout the whole thing. I've been working all year. Again, horses need care all along. So I've been working on the farms, and then Woodbine started up, and I've been going right up till last Sunday when they just shut everything down. Everything just came to a complete stop. We were supposed to be actually running until the 13th of this month,
Mhm.
and everything just shut down. So yeah,
So
it
that
was
must have been pretty difficult for you guys for the season to come to a premature stoppage.
yeah,
So that must have put a damper on you guys as
oh
trainers.
yeah. It put a damper on the whole racing industry. I'm not even going to say just trainers because I myself I'm a rider and I also own horses, right? So it is tough because you're here making plans. Like, okay, I had a horse to run last Thursday for her first time. She's all prepared, everything is done, and the races are canceled.
Wow,
And
that
then we're
must have been
looking
hard, man.
And from my little understanding, everything I know about this industry comes from demand, by the way. So from my little understanding, the preparation it takes to get the horse ready for this race isn't necessarily wash and repeat and do it again for the next race, right? You have to strategize really carefully for each horse for each race, correct?
Yep, pretty much because it's like any athlete, you gotta prep them for what they're gonna do next. I might be going in a sprint race and I had to prep for that. The next time I might decide I want to send her in a longer race and I gotta prep her different for that. You also gotta watch how they come out of each race or each workout. Maintain the soundness, maintain the health, maintain the happiness. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Now, without giving away too many secrets and causing any problems with your fellow trainers, what is really the major difference? Because most horses are very like a horse can get beat by maybe a few seconds or something, but what separates the good trainers from the not so good trainers? So you don't have to cause any confusion in the industry by giving away any secrets, but just
All right.
you can touch on that.
He's just gonna ask you a loaded question and then
It's a very interesting question. It's a very good question. I'm gonna say the horse.
Wow.
Okay, because
That's kind of deep though.
okay, when I say this, what I mean is you can go buy a horse for $1, or you could go buy a horse for $16 million.
Right?
It really and truly all boils down to the horse. Does he have the it factor to run or not? And are you as a trainer comfortable and satisfied with the level of the horse you have?
Mm.
Okay. When I say that is there's claiming races, which we call cheap races. You have the allowance races and you have your stake races.
Mm.
Every horse is not a stake horse.
Mm.
Every horse is not an allowance horse. Sometimes you got the cheap horse. And we all as owners and trainers make this, and I'm not even gonna say mistake. It's a decision that we make to try to see how good our horses really are.
Right.
So I might got
Right.
a horse that he usually runs for 10,000. Okay. And he runs for 10,000. He's very competitive for 10,000. He made for 10,000. I might try to see how good he is for 15. It might not
Right.
sound like a big gap, right? But when you're stepping up to 15, I'm stepping up to 15. There's horses dropping down to 15.
Right.
You
Right.
get to see how good your horse is, or you get to test your own skills as a trainer, if you want to put it that way. Right? So when I say all boils down to the horse, we can do everything right. And on that day, the horse does not choose to perform. That's the way the cookie crumbles. You can do everything right,
So when that horse
right, and
don't
he falls, and that's how it ends, right?
I mean, I've had some
That's
really
it,
fun
right?
moments of watching the horses not want to line up. They all, they all behave.
you don't want to go inside the
The little gate thing, the running in the opposite direction when they're trying to get them to line up, all kind of things.
It's
But I
all
mean,
it's
how
a it's an
devastating is
everyday
it to have
happen.
your horse scratched right before a race? I've always wondered when I see a number scratch, like what does that really mean
That's
for the
heartbreaking.
trainer?
That's heartbreaking.
Mhm.
It's heartbreaking, and it's for me, it's kind of embarrassing,
Mm.
right? And when I say that, I mean things happen, but for the like you as a public person watching, you see it and then you're wondering what's wrong, what
yes. Yeah.
happened, why did he do it? Unless you actually saw him like flip over in the gates or something. But to have a horse scratch when you took it all the way to the track, that's hard because you've done everything you possibly could have done up to
I,
that point.
I can only imagine because I mean, like I said, I know a couple of a couple owners, and I know how difficult it is for them to see that happen, and they want their horses to run. You know what I mean?
To run. Like I've had a horse my last month. I mean, I could be very wrong. I think I had this horse in the best shape he's been in all year. I got him where I wanted him. The race I wanted him, the distance, I got everything I wanted. I got the jockey on, and I said to her, just break, sit second or third, save ground, do whatever you want late. And the gates fly, she breaks, she's sitting second, and there was a mishap in the race. I'm not even going to get into that part. There was a
Right?
mishap going into the first turn, and I saw it unfold from where I was standing because I could hear the other riders screaming at her. They bumped her. Her foot came out the stirrups.
Wow.
She was on and off this horse throughout the whole race. Like literally
Uh-oh.
half it off,
Uh-oh.
back on. Half it off, back on. And Patrick Husbands at the top of the lane rode up next to her, grabbed her hands, and guided her home.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That's a beautiful story because
You understand?
I'll tell you something. That's a beautiful story, and not only because Patrick Husbands is a fellow Bajan, but the fact that just to see or to hear from you that you saw that, and also to know, like, I'll tell you this story that I witnessed. I think it was a Wednesday night many years ago, and I think Simon and Patrick was in the same race, and I think Simon horse broke down, and Simon fell, or he was on the floor, and it was a bad spill. And I saw Patrick jumped off his horse and went to is his brother, right?
Yes.
And went to his brother's aid. And people were upset because he came off the horse, but he came off the horse during the race.
That's
And
sportsmanship. That's humanity.
it is, I because the race there was so much going on in the race, I couldn't exactly pinpoint what was going on while the race was running. So after the race was done, I just stood there and I'm watching the torque board and I'm watching the replay and I'm watching the replay. And then it dawned on me exactly what was going on. I picked up my phone because I know I can't call Patrick at that time because he'll be waiting for the rest of the night. I picked up my phone, okay? And I called his agent. And I said to him exactly this: Leroy, I know that we might have differences, but I want you to tell Patrick, thank you for saving my horse and saving my rider. Thank you.
That was nice.
Because it was he got in so much trouble for this from everybody else. But at the end of the day, whether it was my horse or not, it was a class act.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
You understand? It was a class act of nothing else but sportsmanship. He did not care about winning the race. He was more concerned about saving a person's life.
Yes.
When you get that, you have to acknowledge it. Whether you like the person or not, that is something you have to commend.
Yes.
You understand? And it was commendable. I had to go all out because Patrick is a fellow Barbados, but he doesn't usually ride for me.
And he's also from your community in Barbados also, right? Isn't he?
Yeah, he's from down that area. He's from Hearts. Yeah. He's actually in Barbados right now.
Nice. Well, good for him. He's one of the lucky ones. Now, Renaldo, I gotta like this is what happened. So when I first saw you, you were in a party, and you were hanging with the one and only Mr. Hypermental. Yes, and I was like, okay, Hyper have a new guy to move it, right? Which is good. Hyper is that kind of man. But I also watch your movements in terms of how productive you are when it comes to like doing things and getting things going. I watch how like your movement. I said, this guy got some work ethic. This guy, like, he's always going at something, trying to get something going well, or like he's always thinking. And I said, I gotta talk to this guy, and that's how I first met you. So I'm just wondering, like, away from horse racing, is there anything else that you are dabbling in as an entrepreneur?
As you said, I'm always moving. I'm always thinking. I have no fear in taking chances at all. Right. So as of right now, I'm dabbling in promotions, and that was started more or less. It was started recently again with Sean Hypermental, but I've always been in a crew. Okay, I started back with a crew called At What Crew. I was a soca crew. Then I started my own crew, the Raw Waste Winers. Just a party crew. We used to just go shout out every party. And then then as I moved to the States and I came back, everybody grown up, everybody branched off and did their own thing. But coming back from the States, the unity that I was finding in the States working, I wanted to find people to hang with that wanted to do more than just party. So
Nice.
I had a name that I was going with. A name started by my cousin in Barbados, who's an artist, by a guy by the name of Yella Dan.
I think
So
I heard that
the name is
name.
YPG, right? He had a song. He sent me a bunch of songs, and this is back 2009, just before I had my son. And he keeps saying YPG in the song all the time, and I keep saying to him, "What is that?" And he says, "Young Productive Generals," and I liked it. And I said to him, "Listen to me. I want to take that name and I want to create something with it in Canada." I said, "And whatever develops, you're always going to be a part of it." And he
Nice,
says to
very
me,
nice.
"Go ahead. I don't care. Go ahead." So I did, and I started YPG. And I've known Hypermental for years, been to boat cruises that he's had and different events. So I got together with him and I told him, I know that he does events. I want to help promote his events because this is something I want to get into promoting rather than me just going to parties all the time.
Right.
Push our own events and get our own clientele and party with our own people, right?
Well, I'll tell you what, you and Hyper and any member of the crew, you guys always will have this platform right here. So long as we're doing it, if you want to promote, you want to do anything that can help move the business and move the promotion forward. I've always wondered since I saw YPG what it stands for, and now I know Young Productive General. So this is very good to hear. Is there anything, any other promotions that you guys are working on, or because you got to plan these things way in advance,
Well, before COVID started, we had a couple events with Hyper. We did we've had his birthday event, which he does every year, where Lil Rick came up. We've had an event where we brought it Stabby. We were just about to bring back up Just Be and Mongrel, and then the whole COVID kind of, you know, messed
that
up
must have
everything.
been
But
devastating.
it was, but at the same time, it did wonders for the group. Okay, and when I say this, like this YPG crew is a family. Okay, we've done a lot together this year. A lot. Like we've had beach barbecues consistently. We had a bus trip to Burlington for a party. And again, it's not only parties. We always got ideas of how to push each other forward. Okay, so we got people that are very handy. Got two ladies in the crew that they're very, very handy. You can blink and one can make you a whole suit. Right? We got one that does bonnets and they're handy people. So we push them. You want to make something and sell it? Give it to me. You give it to the crew. You we share it. We support you, and we support one another in ideas, in business. And it is becoming we are living up to the name. We're becoming young, productive generals. We're taking everything that we can. We got a clothing line for one youngster already. I'm trying to get a store because I'm going to start distributing the YPG products next year.
Now,
I'm also
a store might
started
be
doing
is a good move, but also with COVID now is forcing a lot of small businesses to really think about doing things differently, like buying.
Yep, that's it. We're gonna start an online store, right? And are we gonna? We're looking into starting an online store. Let me say that. Um, it's been nice with the crew because mental hypermental. He gave me the gateway to different things other than just promoting. Okay,
Right.
because I start promoting him. I'm now I am I'm a mini YP. I'm a mini soul man. Because now I start doing my own little music. All right. So we have uh, uh, parts of crew. The crew is big enough. So we got the crew divided where different people have different roles. So there's a YPG sound, which is all the soundmen in the crew. So we got the godfather of it all, Hypermetal. We got DJ Charms. We got DJ Fresh, and we got myself. So there's four of us who made YPG sound.
Well, I
And
can't wait to see. I can't wait to hear and see when you guys put another event on. And
I don't
I
think you guys gonna be ready for
think-
that. I don't know if y'all gonna be ready for that. I don't know, man, because I I've done a lot of networking in COVID. COVID has justified me with time, and in this time, I've done a lot of networking both here and in Barbados. Most currently, I spend most of my time talking to SK. I find he's a very, very diverse artist. Um, very talented. He sings anything, everything, soca, reggae, dancehall, you name it.
so it seems
You
like
know,
you're
so I'm
connected
looking.
with a few artists as well.
I'm trying here, and I got a couple local artists from here also. A couple local producers. Got a spot. Classic Resta Lounge is owned
Right?
by a Jamaican couple, and they're all on the same level that we're on,
Nice.
pushing one another, building one another. You know what I mean? Like I'm now starting DJing, and they put me on their lineups. Oh, just come true. Just come true. It's not a problem. Just come true. Bring one of your boys from your crew. Just get everybody's name out there. You know what I mean? So
Well, I have to ask one question. And D-Man and I, we've been working with youth in Barbados for a few years now. So, do you guys have any way that you give back? If you have this wealth of knowledge and you're amassing this amazing network, how have you guys considered, uh, giving back to, especially your youth back home?
well, there are certain things that we have people in the group looking to organize outside of the like anything I do is done based on YPG. When I say if I go and I say okay, I'm gonna donate this, it's not Ronaldo doing it. My name is
Right.
never in nothing. Okay, because again, it's a crew. So if anybody's gonna get credit for anything, let it be the crew. Let it
Right.
be the whole team because
Right.
that's how we
Okay.
are.
Well, that's
Okay,
good thinking.
and like for right now, my thing in giving back is I'm dealing with the horse racing business, and there's a lot of the youngsters that now coming up as jockeys and riders and what's not. And there's a guy here also from Barbados that has a Bajan bakery named Shakers Bakery.
Okay.
And where is that located?
He is actually here in Scarborough.
Nice.
I think if I'm not mistaken, he's in McCowan, but he's in Scarborough, and he did something earlier this year, and then he contacted me about it in terms of finding gear and what's not to help some of the youngsters get started in Barbados.
Mm.
So that's what we are working on right now. I have actually a bunch of stuff that I've bought or I've collected from other people to take down for some of the youngsters.
Mhm.
So we're starting one step at a time. Again, it's still a lot of networking that I need to do, and I want to be in Barbados to do a lot of networking. It's
Mhm.
okay to network over the phone and what's not, but to be direct directly among people where they can feel your energy and at least know directly the kind of person that they're dealing with, you can get a better result rather than
Yes.
me just being
Beautiful.
on the phone and I giving you a phone call and you hearing a whole lot of talk. If I'm there, then you see and feel the different energies, and you can
Yeah.
decide for yourself if this is something that you really want to go forward and do. If it's
Yeah.
somebody you can trust, you know what I mean. So
Absolutely.
I try not to do too much networking on the just
Mhm.
enough that you know me. So by the time I get there, I'm not a stranger to people. You
Right.
know me. But then when I get there, you can actually get to know me on a different level. Get to figure out if I'm a person that you're comfortable working with.
Nice.
And that's a good
All
business
about people
lesson
and
for
their comfort.
anybody, to understand, just like you said, networking, not just meeting people, is not just about passing off a business card, but it's about making an impact so that you could build a working relationship. Absolutely.
Yeah, because like, okay, I might like D-Man, we might be networking and I might want something done. He might not be able to do it, but
Right.
he might feel a positive energy from me that he would say, you know what, let me put him on to somebody else that I know, just because he felt a comfort level or a trust level to say what the person is doing is positive enough that I'm willing to take a chance and push them.
Right.
And that's what it's all about, man.
Absolutely.
That's what it's
It's
all
all
about,
about that.
right? But a lot of people don't get that comfort level.
That's true.
Like they don't get it physically nor mentally because a lot of us overthink things, right? As I said to you earlier when we were having a conversation earlier this week, everything is not about money.
Right.
And
Right.
that's where I think this is where the biggest problems come. I can't, I don't see why it should be hard. You have something going on. Why can I not come and support you? Why
Right.
can I not help you build your dynasty? Why do I have to lend you a hand? I'm going to lend you my left hand to help yourself, but I'm going to stick my right hand out for payment. You know
You
what I mean?
know,
And
I'll tell you
that's where
something.
we feel.
I'll tell you something, man. The earlier that you learn that concept, the better it is for you. And if we can just pass this on to others, we all will benefit from it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And then you
That's
take
for
that
sure.
sportsmanship and that unity into your other wider entrepreneurial business practices and lead with collaboration. I really want to thank you for being an example to our young people, for being an example in terms of, being brave, being willing to try something new, following your passion, expanding your horizons, bringing as many people along with you. On behalf of all of my young people that I'm hoping will be able to hear this and be inspired by it. Thank you.
I really appreciate the opportunity you guys have given me to expand myself and share with others. Again, it goes back to networking. And every little bit of networking, every little bit of knowledge that can be shared or insights that you can give, it can help. It'll help one person or the other. That's how I see it. Every message doesn't sit for everyone, but it will resonate with at least one person. And that's all I need. One person out of every group, and I'm good.
That's beautiful to hear, man. Very beautiful to hear. Well, it was a really warming and a learning experience for both of us to talk with you tonight. Um, I really wish we can go on longer, but as our listeners know that as the time start ticking,
Listen to me, don't blame
Nadia eyes start to drop. And she has a lot of energy talking, but then eventually her eyes start to drop. The alarm goes off in her head, telling her, "Look, it's time for bed. It's time to do something."
I like to wake up and go to sleep with the sun.
We all do. I'm on vacation right now, so it doesn't matter.
Yes, that's
The
right.
ice bucket
Absolutely, that's
is
right. No, it took us a little while to get connected.
Yes, thank you for sticking with us, both Renaldo and our listeners, while we got connected. Thank you for sticking it out.
We are hoping that we could improve on our system because we have to send back our setup because the Chinese setup that we had just was not working out.
Watch it careful here.
you better watch what you say. You better watch what you say.
Zoom Chinese too, so we gotta be careful.
Yeah, big up all the Chinese.
You better watch what you say before you get locked out.
Big up all the Chinese. We love the Chinese also. No matter all of these one, no matter what, you know.
We love everybody. We love everybody. There's no color when it comes to love. Everybody is just
Exactly.
one. If I cut
Exactly.
you, if I cut the Chinese, the Japanese, the Russians, we all gonna bleed the same color blood.
You're absolutely correct. Before we end our segment with you, I just want you to give us a little bit more information. If there's anyone interested in reaching you, if there's anyone out there who wants to get involved in the sport of kings, give us a little bit more information so that we can pass it on or they can actually hear it themselves.
In terms of the sport of kings,
If
I'll never like. I will not tell people not to do it. Don't be afraid. I'm just gonna let them know it's a risk. It's a very big risk. And if you're coming into horse racing just with the mentality to make money, don't. If you're gonna come into it, you gotta come into it first of all with the love of the horses. Because the love of the horses will make you always do the right thing by the horse. And once you're doing that, the money will come. If you're doing it to make money, just make money, it means there's no passion, there's no love, there's no care for the animal.
Yeah.
So they're subject to a lot of things going wrong. And I'm not for that. For me, there's KH Racing. There's the kid I have my Facebook KH Racing. They can also any of my website, any of my social medias, whether it be for my promotions or horse racing, anybody can contact me. I'm open to talk about anything on any site. It doesn't matter.
Very good.
Because promotion, my YPG promotions is also promoting my horse racing. It's everything. Everything is one. Everything has to be pushed in the forward direction. There's no holding back one business from the other. If they can help one another, let it ride.
And I'll tell you what, if any of those websites or any of those handles that you have, I'll put them on our Facebook page, and people can see it and be able to reach out to you if they're interested in anything promotions or interested in buying a horse or even getting part of the industry. Who knows? You know, who knows what people want to do out there, right?
I'm always a phone call away.
So again, I want to thank you again for taking this time. It's been a very what has it been, an hour and a half of communicating with you.
A really solid, an instructive conversation.
And inspiring also.
Very inspiring.
Well, I want to say it on behalf of me and my whole crew. Thanks, you guys. This has been a very interesting night, and letting people be able to hear the background story from myself and the crew. That's warming. That's warming, so that they know that when they see YPG, they're not just seeing a bunch of hooligans just partying. It's a constructive family. There's a lot more. There's a lot behind us other than just shelling down the place.
Right. So
And there's a lot more. There's a lot more shelling down the place to come. We just asked people to give us a little break.
That's fine. We're hoping as we grow, you grow, we all grow together. You know, that's what it's all about. There's one thing I gotta ask you, and because there's one guy down there at Woodbine that I would love to have a conversation with, but I'm just wondering, what's Juwan? Are they calling him Juan or Juwan? What's
Juwan Crawford?
Juan Crawford. What, like that?
I will listen. Don't say anything more because Juan is a very humble guy. He would give you a very good meeting. I will give him the heads up.
Okay.
Please do. I've been talking about this guy for
When
months.
we get off the show, right? I will give him a heads up and I will forward you his number because Juan has done tremendous things this year. He has become the leading writer at Fort Erie this year. He was
I would love to chat with him.
Yes, I will make that happen for you, chap.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Renaldo, for joining us tonight.
Nadia, D-Man, thank you guys very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you again. So on behalf of us, we want to say thank you, and we will welcome you back to the show anytime you want. If you want to come and say anything, please link me up, and you can do that.
Yes, let us know when you have shows coming up. Anything that you want to get the word out about for sure.
Well, you guys gonna hear from me in a couple of weeks. I got something special for you.
Nice.
Nice.
I have something special from a special place.
Yeah. All right. So again, thank you. Have a great night, and looking forward to speaking with you in the near future.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All
Thank you.
One and all.
One love.
All right.
So there you have it, people. That was the big interview, and my man Renaldo Holder. Give him a round of applause there, so that people can hear. It's a beautiful thing, man, when people can connect like that. Beautiful thing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Sharing the love. That's my man, sharing the love, sharing the knowledge, sharing the experience. We have Bradley on, and Bradley said he's here to share the knowledge. So sharing is one thing. We love it, we love it. And on that note, we're going to do something like this.
I could tell ya, these girls bogus. The one learn to share that. Give me some of your something and I'll give you some of my time. That what you talking about? Give me some of your something and I'll give you some of my time. Give me some of your something and I'll give you some of my time. Give me some of your something and I'll give you some of my time. Girl, what we call it sharing. There's nothing wrong with sharing. Me and you can do sharing. Like I give you some of my thing. Sharing. And you give me some of your thing. Sharing. Some people call it trading. You can call it exchanging. But nothing wrong with sharing. So let me tell ya, girls, when you got something and I beg you for some, don't be selfish, don't be greedy, like you ain't want give me none. Learn how to share sometimes, wreck what you got into. Cause I got my things, I will never refuse to share my thing with you. Sharing, there's nothing wrong with sharing. If me and you do sharing, like if you some of my thing, sharing, and you give me some of your thing, sharing. Some people call it trading, you can call it exchanging, but nothing wrong with sharing. So let me tell ya, I got some selfish girls, don't like to share at all. Them will want your things, now them got them thing, them run off and keep it all. If you don't share sometimes, nobody ain't giving ya nothing be nothing, something be something. That is why I tell you so. Sharing, there's nothing wrong with sharing. If me and you do sharing, give me some of your thing, sharing, and I will give you some of my thing, sharing. Some people call it trading, you can call it exchanging, but nothing wrong with sharing. So let me tell ya, give me some of your something and I will give you some of my time. What to tell ya? Give me some of your something and I will give you some of my time. Nothing be nothing, something be something. Want all the time and ain't giving, that ain't walking. Nothing be nothing, something be something.
We want to welcome everyone back again, and we want to say thank you to my man Renaldo Holder tonight for sharing his experience and sharing all the knowledge and information that he gained over the last quite few years from the racetrack and also from promotions and so forth. It was a beautiful conversation. We really appreciated it, man. It's good to have people like him around on your side. I hope that we can expand this conversation to you out there, to the listeners. Hope we can expand this conversation and invite many of you out there who are doing big things within your community and also doing big things for yourself and your family. We hope that you guys can reach out to us, and if not, we'll reach out to you. You probably will hear from us. Tonight was a beautiful night. The one and only Mr. Renaldo YPG Holder. So on that note, Nadia, I know you want to say goodbye. Say goodbye to the listeners.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining with us and adding your energy. I hope that you were able to receive as much knowledge and inspiration as we did talking to Mr. Holder tonight.
You know, for the rest of you, you guys can stick around for the next few minutes, and I'll bounce a few tunes, and then we'll call it quits for the night, right?
Jam session, y'all.
So on that note, Nadia wants to say good night. So.
Nice.
Well, if you say you're 100% Bajan and speaking pure American, what you want? What you want? And if you say you is a Rasta man, but breaking into house where you pin woman, what you want? What you want? I feel it's slavery that got people so inferiority, making them unsure. Cause if you check from Christchurch to St. Lucie, from the back right to the front, you will realize it is the same story. Bajans don't know what they want. We depend on tourist money to help build up this little country, yet dinners beg and rob them daily. Bajans don't know what they want. And some just go and beg government for a little housing unit to rent, and as they get it, don't pay a cent. Bajans don't know what they want. And some fellas dip on the block, them insist they can't get no walk. Still Guyanese coming non-stop. Bajans don't know what they want. And some like to blame the Guyanese, say too much of them in this land, getting the opportunities that should be for Bajans. But we want cash in hand, but don't want work on the farm. So don't blame them immigrants. It's Bajans don't know what they want. They don't know, they don't know, they don't know what they want. They don't know, they don't know, they don't know what they want. Well, if a man marry a woman, tell she I do. Next month, he left she for Andrew. What he wants? What he wants? And if a woman got in church, born change she life, but got the preacher and cussy wife. What she want? What she want? Something in the water must got them upset. How come they say one thing, then turn around and do the next? Cause if you check every terrace, every village, house near you with its tenants, you will find the same evidence. Bajans don't know what they want. I see mothers with small children, want them get good education, but all they buy them is bling bling and brand. Bajans don't know what they want. We got a whole young generation we expect to lead this nation, but they can't hope to buy Bajan land. Bajans don't know what they want. Some men just talk about Marcus Garvey, black consciousness, black identity, but won't support their own family. Bajans don't know what they want. And the money that you pay at the embassy for a visa, you're getting robbed. Still some Bajans just run and paid and go away and work 3 jobs. They left this sweet island to struggle in a foreign land where a black man life is important. Bajans don't know what they want. They don't know, they don't know, they don't know what they want. They don't know, they don't know, they don't know what they want. La 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 la. What is me final object in it? Is to get a plantation in me name. Before my destination born, I've got to have a plantation of me own. Be proud of my ancestry, with the profits of slavery. To watch one a toil and sweat, knowing none these sweets you can't get. In me cock hat and me white suit, pipe and walking stick to boot.
In me bunking looking for see a statue of philanthropy. I want a plantation, want it at any cost, to exploit the poor population. Call me master, call me boss. Don't wanna be poor, to become poorer. Don't wanna whore, to become a whore. I wouldn't have to work, to become a worker. I wouldn't have to fall, be nobody's porker. I want the privilege to manage or mismanage, to help control the nation. I want a plantation. I'd be one the landed gentry, I wouldn't want them tenantry. My fortune would be God sent, I'd be collecting eternal rent. And no matter how you toil and till, a wall house you could never build. For years you found the same spot, and you cannot improve your lot. I wouldn't care about tenantry, yeah. Look, your road would be one more track. I wouldn't care where the tenantry ends. The government road I would still extend. I want a plantation, want it at any cost, to exploit the poor population. Call me master, call me boss. Don't wanna be poor, to become poorer. Don't wanna whore, to become a whore. I wouldn't have to work, to become a worker. I wouldn't have to fall, be nobody's porker. I want the privilege to manage or mismanage, to help control the nation. I want a plantation.
I keep in a fed for them politicians. Friends, they're gonna get me to all descriptions. All kind of meat they serve in this country. Big boys love to eat, you know how they're greedy. Some eat turkey, some of them ham. Some eat duck and some of them lamb. Some eat cow meal, I don't know why. Some eat beef or some of them fry. But nobody want you catch them eating pork. Nobody want you catch them eating pork. Nobody want you catch them eating pork. Nobody want you catch them eating pork.
Finance on the pork.
Stop blaming me, it just wasn't me.
Finance on the pork.
Stop accusing me, it just wasn't me.
Ouch! And spite me. Ouch! And spite me.
Chicken and lamb, you got politicians. Turkey and ham for any occasion. All kind of meat is beyond their menu. Hey, them grind it eat when they smell the pork stew. Some eat turkey, some of them ham. Some eat duck and some of them lamb. Some eat cow heel, I don't know why. Some eat beef or some of them fry. Nobody want you catch them eating pork. Nobody want you catch them eating pork. Nobody want you catch them eating pork. Nobody want you catch them eating pork.
Finance on the pork.
Stop blaming me, it just wasn't me.
Finance on the pork.
Stop accusing me, it just wasn't me.
Ouch! And spite me.
Bring the picture.
Ouch!
not snagopus. Wait, this is Coretta Smith. Nice. What the hearing? Rata says and you can't feel. Even the puppet feel. I hear Warren Daisy, then Rata Shirley. Slaves in the grass, some block with some real fast. So run, Daisy run, Shirley get your butt and run. Snares in there, when you hear the rattling. Snares in there, gossiping and chatting. Snares in there, tell me what is happening. Snares in there, holding and striking. Slaves on the board, couples on board. Snakes in action, spade the poison. It's true. Listen to Kuro, in the country not snake. And he said the most snake all around me. It's snakes, it's true. Snakes in the grass, dirty and slimy. Be careful there, don't put you where you have to run. Rata snake in the big thing. Bite me and I left. The story breaks serpent, hand in a mail bank. Snakes tricking me, some red and real crafty. So run, get battling fun. Snakes in there, when you hear the rattling. Snakes in there, gossiping and chatting. Snakes in there, tell me what is happening. Snakes in there, hiding and striking. Snakes in the way, both night and day. Snakes in action, spade the poison. It's true. Listen to Kuro, any country not near. Any city most near. All around me is snakes. True. Snakes in the was sweet as usual. Dress code was informal. This Indian chick from Arima, standing up like a real statue. Party was bad, bad people like us. She was looking sad, sad in water gas. Pulling women something, whining or shaking her foot. But this Indian chick, she just want to have a jerk. She said, I fell up baby whining, that tired raised me hand. Don't tell me rave no something, I want a jerk, jerk. And a man who could jerk tempo, a man who could jerk the Lego. When the tempo get real hot, he intends to jerk non-stop. Everybody hold tight and jerk, all night to jerk. Tangle up and jerk, raise a foot and jerk. Jerk for jerk, this is party. Jerk for jerk, this is fed. Jerk for jerk, everybody. Jerk for jerk, you must say, oh God! Jerk all night long! Never knew Indian could jerk. The funny thing, she was ashamed to look. Looking down with me eyes open. Jerk for jerk, man, it's really fun. He did the place generate in a short time. Sweat on my face, jerking straight, sometimes away. It was bacchanal in the corner. See how we tangle up. This party animal from a woman could really jerk. She said I fell up with the whining, that tired raised me hand. Don't tell me raise no something, I want a jerk, jerk. Man, a man who could jerk tempo, a man who could jerk the Lego. When the tempo get real hot, he intends to jerk non-stop. Everybody hold tight and jerk, all night to jerk. Tangle up and jerk, raise a foot and jerk. Jerk for jerk, this is party. Jerk for jerk, this is fed. Jerk for jerk, everybody. Jerk for jerk, you must sweat. One time! Two times!
Music up, let me walk up. Like the energy just take over me entire being, and it lifts in me way up to a higher place for me then. Where the music in the rings to soar above any ceiling, and I feel to walking up. This is endless walk. I ain't reaching walk to 12 o'clock. I don't give up, cause it's vibes non-stop. I never flop, everything turn up. I done liquored up, I jumping up. So give me space. Music up, let me walk up my way. And I'm feeling so nice, so nice, so nice, so nice. Like a larger than life, than life, than life, larger than life. It's a chemical response that have me overreacting. When the soul can mix with rum, I just don't know what I'm doing. And it's taking me so high, it's a different air I breathe in. And I feel to walking up, this is endless walk. I ain't reaching walk to 12 o'clock, I don't give up, cause it's vibes non-stop, can never flop, everything turn up. I done liquored up, I jumping up, so give me space. Music up, let me walk up my way. And I'm feeling so nice, so nice, so nice, so nice. Like a larger than life, than life, than life, larger than life. And let's walk. Give me, and let's walk. Give me the space, and let's walk. Give me the space, and let's walk. And I feel to walking up. This is endless walk. I ain't reaching walk to 12 o'clock. I don't give up, cause it's vibes non-stop, can never. I get so confused with this. I just got convicted, I will be reprimanded, cause I got caught red-handed. They say I is a whining criminal.